First at 5, prosecutors say this 72-year-old woman killed her own sister and buried her in their backyard in Hillsborough County nearly 4 years ago. But her defense attorneys say the state has no proof. It will be up to a jury to decide whether Deborah Patton is guilty of murder. Fox 13's Kylie Jones is live outside the Hillsborough County Courthouse where Patton's trial is underway. Kylie.
Well, and after numerous delays in the court process, it's been almost 5 years since Karen Paez was found buried in her backyard. Her sister, Deborah Patton, spent 2 of those years in a mental health hospital as she was once deemed incompetent to stand trial. Today, we finally heard opening statements as her trial got underway. After more than 4.5 years, at 72 years old, Deborah Patton is back in a Hillsborough County courtroom on trial for her sister's murder.
She put a bullet in her chest and then wrapped her up in towels and in plastic bags, bungee cords, duct tape. You'll see how she was wrapped up. And then took her to her own backyard and buried her in the ground.
Patton was living.
This happened 5 years ago. She's 72 now. Can a 67-year-old woman move like that? Can a 67-year-old woman move like that? Shot her, wrapped her body up in plastic bags, dragged her outside, and buried her? I wonder how deep she buried her. It couldn't have been deep. Couldn't have been deep unless she was digging all day.
With her sister, Karen Paez, in her Carrollwood home at the time of the murder in 2021. But state prosecutors say the sisters had a rocky relationship, according to Karen's longtime friends who took the stand on Tuesday.
Deborah was not interested in joining with us anymore. She would walk by to take the dog out, not speak to us. Just got rather cold and distant.
Prosecutors say in May of 2021, Karen's friends stopped hearing from her. When they did get messages from her, they said something was off. Patton's defense says if that was the case, investigators could have searched Karen's phone.
They never try and locate the phone. They don't pull any phone records to try and see had the phone been at the house the whole time where Deborah Patton was.
The search for Karen moved forward with security camera footage from a deputy who lived across the street. His cameras captured the last moments Karen was seen outside her home.
Is that in fact the last time that you looked through this video that you ever saw Karen exit or enter into that residence?
Yes.
That deputy testified about video later that night showing Patton taking a garbage bag to the trash can.
Once Karen Paez is found in the backyard, you're going to learn the investigation is over. And Deborah Patton is arrested, charged, and sits here before you, not because they find any proof that she kills Karen Paez. Not because they find any evidence.
Patton could be seen writing notes to her attorneys on a notepad throughout the day, as day 1 of the trial wrapped up with more witness testimony.
Now, here's a question. You see how alert she is and how non-mentally ill she's. I mean, I guess you can't really see mental, but she was. Remember, this trial holded up for 2 years because she was in a mental institution. So was she faking it? Was she really mentally ill? Or did she already have everything planned? But let's get over into this next video where she was found guilty.
Kim, thanks. Loved ones of a 66-year-old woman who was found dead back in 2021 finally have a little bit of relief. Yesterday, we brought you the verdict against Deborah Patton. She's the one who was found guilty of shooting her own sister in their Carrollwood home 5 years ago. Fox 13's Evan Axelbanks in our newsroom now with more and some reaction from those who knew Karen Paez the best. Evan.
Yeah, it was agonizing for Karen's loved ones because they felt that Deborah Patton was slow walking the court process. After 5 years, they got their wish in under an hour, with the jury apparently having little trouble in making their decision.
Deborah Patton was finally out of lifelines.
I will adjudicate her guilty, remand her to the custody of Hillsborough County Jail without bond.
Thank goodness the jurors saw through and saw what we saw, and I do feel like a huge weight has just been lifted.
Kathy and Joel Wincoop were lifelong friends of Karen Paez and knew right away that when she was found buried in her own backyard, that there could be only one suspect.
Karen told us, all of us, many times, if I end up missing, or something happens to me, Deborah did it.
Though prosecutors never pinned down a motive, friends say Patton.
Oh, back to that. What did she say?
Told us, all of us, many times,
All the
if I end up missing or something happens to me, Deborah did it.
Though prosecutors never pinned down a motive, friends say Patton was living in Karen's house cost-free, and that could have led to friction. Though deputies never found Patton's gun, Karen was found a foot underground, wrapped in bags and shot through the chest.
Karen had such a great heart. She would say, no, she's my sister. I love her. She's got no one else to turn to, no other family. I have to take care of her.
Yeah, and that's how she got repaid.
And that's how she got repaid.
The verdict ends a 5-year saga. Patton spent 2 of those years at a mental hospital because a doctor found her incompetent to stand trial. Once she was deemed competent, she also insisted that she be given new attorneys.
The things that I've asked her to do, she's unwilling to do.
The judge declined that.
She's a professional among professionals, and I have complete confidence in her representation.
For Karen's friends, the verdict is a chance to let go of the stress they felt since the moment Karen's body was found. Would the only suspect ever pay a price?
I had a lot of anger towards her. I still probably do, but it doesn't feel as bad now because I know she's where she's going to be. I don't have to worry about her getting out, you know.
On the second-degree murder charge, Patton faces 25 years to life. Now that she's 72 years old, it is likely she's never going to get out, even if she gets the minimum sentence. Sentencing is going to be on February 16th, so we'll find out then, Mark.
All right, Evan.
25 years to life. Oh, God. 72 years old. Now, it does seem to me, at least to me, that she might have been faking the mental health. I don't know. We can never be sure. But it just seems rather convenient that I guess maybe she was trying to go for the insanity plea. And I guess the doctor wasn't playing with it. 2 years, he let it go. He's like, all right, yeah. But we don't know. We don't know how it is. She might have been really struggling with her mental health for those 2 years. But let's get over into the AI breakdown and see what else we can find out. So on January 14th, 2026, the 72-year-old Deborah was found guilty of second-degree murder for killing her sister and burying her in the backyard. So remember that she was buried a foot underground. So if they would have just said she would have buried 6 feet, I would have had the hardest time believing a 72-year-old woman buried her 6 feet. But let's get over into the more details about it. So we know the victim was her younger sister. Her younger sister, Jesus. In May 2021, she shot Paris in the chest and buried her body in a shallow grave in the backyard. Neighbors and friends requested a welfare check on May 31st after she had been missing for several days. Investigators found her body wrapped in a garbage bag and towels under 2 feet of fresh dirt, so 2 feet. The trial delayed for nearly 5 years because she was initially found incompetent to stand trial and spent 2 years in a mental health hospital. A 6-person jury deliberated for exactly 1 hour before returning the guilty verdict. She faces 25 years to life with the sentence hearing on February 2026. So a DNA expert testified that the DNA was found inside the rubber gloves buried with her sister. Friends testified that Paris had previously told them, if I go missing or I'm found dead, then it was my sister who did it. And then surveillance video, neighbors' security cameras showed that she entered her home for the last time, followed later that night by the older sister taking out the garbage bag. 25 years to life. And I think they said that was the older sister living with? That's a good question. Was the older sister living rent-free in the house? Yes. So Deborah was living in her sister's home cost-free. And the friends believe that the financial arrangement and the resulting tension may have contributed to the murder. So you live in there rent-free and then kill your own sister and bury her in the backyard? Now, do you truly believe, y'all? Do y'all truly believe that this woman was, I always do it backwards, that this woman was facing a mental health crisis for 2 years? 2 years. And now she's finally able to face her judgment after 5 years after she killed her sister. Her own younger sister. And now she might die in prison. It's a crazy situation. Sometimes you can't even trust your family members. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. We will keep up with this to see if she gets a reduced sentence or anything like that, or the judge considers her old age. But let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation, y'all. It's a very crazy situation.